Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So this is a new product haul, try on, get ready with me. I don't even know what to call this. Some of these things are from Sephora, some are from PR. I just wanted to try some of these things out today, put them on, and I thought what better way than to do it in a video. I don't usually do a lot of first impressions because I know you guys want to see how they work for me long term. So if I don't try them in this video and update you on them in this video, I will be updating you on them later on in future videos. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure and hit that subscribe button. You know how it works. And hit the notification bell to be notified of all my videos, because if you don't, YouTube just doesn't notify you. So one of the things that I have to mention right off the bat is, this is not the palette that I'm using today, but when I was in Sephora, they had 3 of them and I had to grab one. Okay, by the way, Luke is on full alert back there. He's here, but he is watching the guy mowing the lawn across the street. There's just a lot of stuff going on today and I'm kind of losing my voice, I think. Okay, I got the Marc Jacobs Stiletto palette. This is the new limited edition palette and it is stunning. It's a cool palette. I am not usually a cool palette girl, but I just could not hold off on this anymore. It's beautiful. It's clearly not what I have on my eyes today. This is what I purchased though. I got this Urban Decay Reloaded palette in PR not too long ago, and I know you guys have been wanting to see how I've been using it because I've had it on in a couple of videos. So that is what I am using today on my eyes. There's some good and some not so good about this palette, so I will cover that in this video today. Let me know if you want to see me use this in some kind of a video, and I will do that for you guys. I restocked my Briogeo Be Gentle, Be Kind shampoo. I've noticed a difference in the quality of my hair since I started using different shampoos. I feel like it's just drier looking. So I had to restock this, and then while I was in the hair department, it's a department section I guess, I picked up the Moroccan Oil Extra Volume shampoo for fine hair. Let me know in the comments if you have used this for fine hair, if you have fine hair and you have used anything from the Moroccan Oil line, because I am interested. I feel like everybody raves about this line, and I've used the oil just in small amounts, but I've never really used anything else, and I feel like it's so good for your hair, and I'm all about hair health, but I also don't want my hair to be weighed down, so I just want to get a lot of shine without weight. Speaking of, I picked up a travel size of the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Body Builder. This is where you can turn the nozzle and get more body or less body, and it's supposed to be really good. I've heard great things about this. I was gonna use it today in the video, but I've got stuff everywhere and I don't want to get spray everywhere, so I'm going to be updating you guys on this product. I have liked everything I've ever used from Living Proof, so I hope this product is the same. I also picked up this new Redo Set and Refresh spray from Beauty Blender. I was walking past the Beauty Blender section and they had it in store, only one, so I had to get it. I've never ever seen another setting spray with this particular spray. I have a lot that have tremendously great sprays. This one is like no other. You do have to shake it. I'm not gonna spray it on my face because I'm trying to do kind of a wear test today on this foundation and primer, and I don't like to use setting spray when I do that. You guys, this spray, oh shoot, I don't wanna get it all over everything. You can't even hear it spray out. It doesn't even make that shh sound, kind of. It's like a cloud. And you almost, when you spray it on your face, can't even feel it go on your face. It is that fine of a mist. It does leave a little bit of a dewy look to the skin. I only used it once last night when I was already dewy from the day. I do have oily combination skin. I'm over 40, for those of you that don't know, I'm 43. So I always try to find that balance of things that are gonna, you know, make me feel good about myself, not accentuate wrinkles, give me hydration, but not make me look greasy too. We'll see how this works. This is something I'm gonna update you guys on, but I don't wanna do it today because I don't wanna interfere with the foundation update that I have going on at the end of the day. So in PR, I received 2 things from Sunday Riley. Their collab with Marvel, this Good Genes Marvel superhero edition that they have. This is really cute if you like Marvel, this packaging. I use Good Genes multiple times a week as my lactic acid treatment at night. And this CEO Glow Vitamin C Turmeric Face Oil. I use vitamin C, but I've never used it combined in a face oil, so I guess this would only be good for me at night, and I typically use vitamin C during the day. I'm gonna have to get back to you on this. If you have used this, please leave a comment down below because I am not familiar with this product. I'm a little nervous about it, but it seems kind of watery if you look at it. I don't know. I also received from Dr. Brandt this Needles No More Wrinkle Smoothing Cream that is supposed to help smooth expression lines, not just fine lines. Super intrigued by this, so I'm really anxious to try this product. And I am reporting in on the neck product that I've been trying to very soon. When I was at the checkout, I picked up a travel size, you know they always get you at the checkout, of the Stellar Haze powder. I've tried a lot of things from Stellar and I really like this brand. I did not use this today though. I'm gonna be updating you on it because I didn't want to add another variable to my foundation and primer interaction thing today because I am retrying the NARS Sheer Glow foundation that I used to love. This was my first foundation love of all time. I fell out of love with it. I think maybe just because it got old. I don't know, but I'm trying it again today for the first time in many years. I'm trying it over a regular primer that I use on one side and then on the other side the Cover FX gripping primer. I want to see if this is worth the hype. And I'm also using the new Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer that everybody's raving about. So those are things that I have hauled, things I'm going to be reporting on later, and I'm going to be wear testing this today. And if you want to see kind of how I got this look and other products that I use too, just keep watching. When I do get ready with me's, my camera focuses a lot. It sounds like there's a frog croaking. I know it's very distracting because it's focusing in and out. I need to get an external mic. That is my camera's microphone. It's just a distraction. I'm so sorry. That is what you hear. So my apologies. In the meantime, we're just gonna move on. I am going to get an external mic one of these days. I just have not done it yet. So I think on this side of my face, I'm gonna use my regular No Problem primer. I'll say one of my regular primers. And on this side of my face, I got the new Cover FX gripping primer. I want to see if this is everything everyone is making it out to be. I do love the lightweight packaging. I've also been really liking this No Problem primer from Touch in Soul. It's very lightweight. It works a lot like my Hourglass Veil primer, but it's like $18. I've been using it a lot lately. It's great if you're like me and you have oily combination skin, but you also want something that helps out in the pore department and keeps your makeup on all day. The reason why I'm using the Touch in Soul on that side of the face, the No Problem primer, is because something broke me out all along my mouth and my chin this week. It's starting to go away, but I feel like most of the flare-ups are on this side of my face still. You can kind of see them, and I don't want to use something else new over here as my base layer. So the Cover FX primer, I'm only using like a half of a pea size amount because for your whole face for primer, all you really need is a pea size amount. I think a lot of people use way too much and end up kind of thinking primer doesn't work for them. It's kind of a milky clear color. It's sticky for sure, so it should grip. I wonder how this does with pores. So I don't think that this gripping primer really does anything extra for the pores the way the Touch in Soul does. I mean, it's definitely grippy. It'll be interesting to see how foundation applies over it. I don't know how it smooths over it. I'm a little nervous about that, I gotta say. I decided to try the NARS Sheer Glow foundation out again. I'm in the shade Fiji. If you need my foundation shade matches, they are listed down below for you. I keep them listed on my blog along with a list of my concealer matches. If you ever need those for reference, they're always there for you. One thing that's different about this that was not with my old bottle, and I didn't realize it until I got home, is that there's no pump on here. And I didn't know that when I bought it because I just got the bottle. It looks exactly the same when it's like this. If I would have known that, I would have gotten the pump. That's a little irritating to me because it's already kind of a pricey foundation. And then you have to buy the pump for, I think, $6 extra on top of the foundation. So we just have to pour a little bit of this out onto our hand. I'm gonna try and do this gracefully in front of my face. Ah! Okay, that was not that graceful. So you can see the texture, it's kind of runny, which is fine. All right, so on the side with the primer that I am used to, this is blending out really beautifully, really easily and nicely, and I'm just getting a tiny bit on my sponge each time I go in for a light layer. That's typically how I apply foundation, and it gives really nice coverage, and that is what I remember about this foundation. What I also remember is that although it says sheer glow, it's not really a sheer foundation. It just looks really nice on the skin. It's also not glowy like Armani Luminous Silk or something like that. So if you have oily combination skin, this isn't a foundation to be scared of. It just makes your skin look like a better version of itself, yet it's not totally skin-like either, yet it looks really natural. I hope that makes sense. So there we have one layer, and you can see one side of my face versus the other with just one light layer. It covered really, really nicely. And I'm gonna go in on the other side, on this gripping side. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I mean, it's just makeup, it'll be fine. I'm just supposed to go to lunch with some friends later, and I always get nervous if I decide to try new makeup when I'm going somewhere. I mean, it's not like they don't know what I do, but still, I always feel like I have to explain myself. But I will be interested to see if it does last longer on the left side of my face, which might be your right side. I'm not sure, this side of my face, than on the other. Although the no Poreblem primer side, or the no Poreblem primer is really good with helping makeup last. I've just gotten to where I just really like a primer underneath my makeup. I just feel like it helps my foundation just feel better on my skin, if you have the right primer, that is. Really don't need a lot of this foundation. One thing I really couldn't remember about this foundation is if a little went a long way, or if you needed a lot to get coverage, and you really don't. Okay, so this is one layer. Keep in mind, I don't put it underneath my eyes. I have a new concealer for that I'm super excited about. It looks really good. I might see if I can just build it just a tiny bit, like where I have just a little bit of redness right there, but I really don't feel the need to. I feel like my skin looks pretty darn good. Now I'm wondering why I've been without this foundation for so long. This is how much I have left on my hand though. So I would say a little goes a long way. I feel like I probably had about what would be a pump on my hand before. It does build. I would say this is medium to full coverage. I didn't even look at the claims before I started going in. It applies quickly. I like it on both sides. I'm looking really up close in my 5x Simple Human mirror, my Mac Daddy mirror, and I might see a little bit more in the way of pores on the gripping primer side, but I mean, it is only if you were looking super up close. Both sides with the primers look good. So I am going to stop now because I think it looks good, and I'm gonna go on with concealer. I have the new Power Fabric Concealer from Armani that everybody keeps talking about. I'm super excited to try it. I have the shade 3.5. Like I said, I don't put foundation underneath my eyes. I do use a color corrector underneath my eyes. I did put just a teeny tiny bit of the Color Science Total Eye underneath my eyes earlier before I started anything, just a tiny bit, because that's what I normally do, and I always try to keep things the way I normally keep them because I want to try and compare this to what I normally use, and that's the way I do it. I will try this by itself and report in on another day. So this is about the amount that I would normally apply. I don't do a big old triangle. That's just not the way I roll. I'm over 40. It just doesn't usually work for me. It's usually too much. So let's see how this covers. I've just heard so much about this, and I hope it lives up to the hype. Okay, so I think the coverage is good. Seems like it's not quite as moisturizing as the Too Faced, and it doesn't quite have as much coverage. I feel like me using less of my color corrector underneath was doing me a disservice because I can kind of see a little bit of that purple coming through. I need a color corrector underneath, so I'm going to use just my normal amount underneath just to counterbalance some of that discoloration, and then I'm going to go in with my normal amount. I don't think this has the same amount of coverage as my Too Faced Sculpting Concealer, but I do like the way it looks. It looks really natural, and I'm wondering if I even have to set it. It's not creasing at all. Usually when I make any kind of expression, things crease up right underneath my eye, and it's not creasing. Oh, actually it is just a little bit though. It's a nice shade for me. I will say I'm glad I went with the 3.5. So if you're any of my concealer shades, you will probably do great with the 3.5. It's more of a neutral tone. What do you guys think? You think that looks good? It looks good. It looks natural, I think. I'm gonna go off camera, do my brows, my eyeshadow primer, conceal any face spots. By the way, This does feel kind of tacky until you set it down, just so you know. I decided not to mess with my control powder so I could actually see how the concealer performs and looks, as well as the new primer and the foundation. Even though I know I liked the foundation a long time ago, I'm sure that my skin has changed a lot in all those years. I just want to see how it works with the powders I'm used to. So under my eyes, I use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. Shade 1 Fair is what I use underneath my eyes pretty much every day these days. It's just so good underneath the eyes, and I use Fair because it pretty much acts as a translucent powder. On my face, I use the Lancome Long Time No Shine. This has just pretty much been a staple. That and the new Stila that's in the spray bottle. Don't really love the bottle, but I love the powder in it. And I used ColourPop Precision Brow in Cool Cocoa on my brows. And I just lightly lined with Charlotte Tilbury Love Trap, which is kind of my new Lips Fit Better shade for my lips. I just wanted to go ahead and line with that shade. So on my face, I am going to contour and highlight with this Stellar palette. I hope they still make this because this has been in my drawer and I just wanted to pull it out and use it. And it's a really great palette. Nobody ever talks about it. And I'm going to bronze with Marc Jacobs Tantastic. And I'm going to use Tarte Party Blush. I've been loving this a lot lately, and I feel like people talked about it a lot when it was the Sephora birthday gift, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside, and they offer it in full size because it was so popular. I'm just going to kind of zoom through this because this is not part of my haul. I've just had this for a long time, and you know, things just sit in the drawer and they don't get used. I just feel like it doesn't really get talked about, and Stellar makeup I've been really impressed with. I have their foundation, and because I did get this powder that is called the Haze Loose Powder, I'm going to report back on this either in a haul update or in maybe my end of month favorites video. Just kind of wanted to give Stellar some love in this video because they just don't get talked about a lot, and they're a really good brand. I wonder if I could even bronze with this. This shade in here is kind of not too warm, not too cool. It's kind of one of those shades that you could use for both bronzer and contour. You know, like the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, those kinds of palettes. I think I'm gonna bronze with it. We'll see how this goes. Yes, this is good. I haven't used it in so long. I forgot how I used it. If I used it to bronze, if I used it to contour, or both, or what. So I like to take my bronzer kind of across my nose because that is where we usually get sun. Across my forehead, just to kind of warm up the face. So I'm not going crazy with the bronzer today. I just want a little bit going on. Sometimes the camera, I feel like, magnifies any light from dark contrast that you have going on. So anything that's magnified, I usually even out with finishing powder in the end, and it just takes away any mistakes that are made. So it will be fixed. So that's just a little helpful hint from me. If you went too heavy-handed with something, or if you know, are just having kind of an issue blending something out, you can always fix it with finishing powder. And I'm going to use this Champagne highlight here on this Wayne Goss 02 brush. It's a really pretty highlight. And I'm taking my Sigma F10 in Party. This is the Party from the birthday gift. If this runs out, I will get the full size though. This is such a great pink shade. It's not too bubblegum pink. It's just a great flushed natural pink with a little bit of peach in it. Maybe a little peachy coral. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly what finishing powder does. If you haven't seen one of my videos, I usually use MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Medium Plus. That is the shade that works for my skin tone, but they have many shades. And I just take any kind of a kabuki brush. I love the Sonia G face brush. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect because it doesn't pick up too much. It doesn't kick up any product, and it doesn't take any product off of your face. It's so soft. I really didn't think there was much of a difference between face brushes until I got this brush. I also use it for powder foundation when I'm actually applying foundation. But this just kind of diffuses everything together and gives you a nice natural look. I'm not really worried about my hairline because I am covering that up with hair later. But yeah, see how that just kind of diffused everything together really nicely? So that is what using a finishing powder does. Once you have everything on, you just kind of put that over it, and it just will either give you an airbrush soft diffused look, or it can fix any mistakes that you make if you make any. I use it either way. I just like that more airbrush diffused look to my makeup, so that's why I use it. Okay, so I went ahead and jumped to the end of my look because I am going to be walking you through how I got here with this new Urban Decay Reloaded palette. I know a lot of you have been wanting to see how I've been using this palette. There's some good and some not so good with it, and I'm going to show that to you with this application today. I know a lot of you have been wanting to see how I use this because I've had it on in a couple of videos. Now, my main issue here with this palette, I'll just go right into it, are these two shades right here, Dreamweaver and Angel Fire. They are chunky. So what you're gonna see with my application is me using these and then me kind of topping over them because I just had some issues with the chunkiness, and it's not the first time. So what I love about this palette is that the mattes are gorgeous. They apply beautifully, they blend beautifully, and there's a lot of mattes in this palette. Other than the two kind of chunky shades, all the shimmery sheen shades apply beautifully. There's this one right here, Reputation, that has a little bit of chunkiness in it, but not to the extent of Dreamweaver and Angel Fire. These four shades here on the ends are bigger than the other shades in the palette, which I think is great because these are the ones you're going to use the most. So when I started this look, I started out with Boundaries as my transition, and I also used this on my lower lash line. I'm not sure if I got that on camera or not. And then I took Bucked and I put that more in my crease and on my kind of outer third of my lid. These two make for a really nice gradient, even if you're going for an all matte look. There's just something about these two shades I really, really like. I like that Boundaries is a little warmer than Bucked. They're just really great shades to have, even if you're just pulling them just from this palette. Then I took Endgame and I tapped that onto the outer third of my lid and kind of took it a little bit above the crease just because I need that, because my eyes are kind of deep set and they're kind of downturned. So I gave it a little bit of a lift and blended it out. I've done that before with Distilled as well, in just kind of a lighter fashion because it is a little bit lighter. It looks like it's got a lot of shimmer to it, but it works when you do that as well. So then I took on a wet synthetic brush, because you have to use a wet brush. A finger does not work with these shades. I took Dreamweaver on the center of my lid, and you can kind of see here, it takes a little bit, but you can get some pigment. You just don't get the shimmer that you think you're gonna get, that impact from this shade. And then I took Angel Fire. Again, it's just so sheer and kind of chunky. And I just showed you guys what you really get from those shades. And I don't know, I just really wasn't happy with that. So I went in with Reputation and Burn, and I just went in over those shades. And that's how I ended up with this kind of reddish, burnished look instead of the Angel Fire and Dreamweaver. And then I highlighted my brow bone and inner corner with Bribe, this lightest shade here, and I did line with Endgame as well. It is a great liner shade. You do have to tap off your brush, but even if you get fallout, it does dust away. There are some palettes and shadows that I've used before that if you get fallout, it just messes up your entire makeup look. That doesn't happen with this, which is nice. You can rescue your face. The lip shade that I paired with it is the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in Lure. I have a small one of these and I just thought it looked really nice. I'm gonna try and check in a little bit later and we'll see how this is wearing and holding up throughout the day, but I like the way it looks. This is a horrible end of day check-in. I almost completely forgot to check in. My hair is up because it just looks terrible. I have been blowing my nose. I've been leaning on my chin. I just feel like everything's kind of worn off, but it's been over 12 hours. So all things considered, you know, there's still makeup on my face. I love the concealer. I'm not even sure if you can even tell, but it is still under my eyes and I feel like it's worn really well. I'm going to still report in on these products and just let you know, maybe my monthly favorites, how these things are wearing over time or how they're working for me, maybe on non-12-hour days, so you guys just know for sure. I actually think it looks a little better on the No Problem Primer side than it does on the Gripping Primer side. I don't know. I'm still gonna play with that Gripping Primer and see, but I think if I, had worn it maybe a little bit less or had not been wiping my nose and leaning on my chin, it would look even better right now. But overall, I don't think it looks terrible for over 12 hours. I mean, it's been almost 13 hours. So, you know, I'm not faulting it for how it looks right now. I hope you enjoyed this haul. Get ready with me. Let me know what products you're the most interested in, or if you like any of these or don't like any of the products that I got. I would love to hear what you think down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you here on a regular basis. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. When I was at the okay, Luke, you gotta stop, man. When I was at the checkout, I picked up, Luke, really like this brand. I'd add a little bit more here. I might see if I can build it just a little bit. I really don't. Hey, buddy. Trying to film here. Trying to film.